This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everybody. I always get excited whenever we have a psychic medium on the program. I never know what's going to happen. Never know what we're going to learn. And she certainly has the cred in joining us today. She's known as Yeye. She's in New Mexico. Her website's actually, I believe, well, she goes by Yeye, New Mexico. Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. And we're going to get right to the basics here, because I think there's a misconception or confusion when it comes to psychics, mediums, psychic mediums. Can you break that down for us and who you are? I know you're a medium or you're a psychic. Tell us.
Well, I don't know that I know the answer, and I think I sometimes wonder, what do all those terms mean? I think we have a very limited language for someone who has the ability to tap into realms that are not visible to our eyes. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but what are the words that we use to tap into that is a little bit of a conundrum for me as well. Um, so yes, I think of myself as a psychic medium. Is that exactly what I'm doing? I don't know. I have to be honest with you. I think that I have the ability and I utilize the ability to tap into the energy of water. And I am doing that as what they might call direct psychic reading, where I am tapping into the spirit of water, which in my tradition is called Osara. There are other names, but the deity that I work with is Osara. And she is the essence of water. And so my ability is to communicate with her and to then share that communication with my clients.
Would you label her as one of your psychic guides, one of your spirit guides?
She is definitely my spirit guide. I am a chief to her. She is a deity in the Ifa Yoruba pantheon. She is considered to be, geographically, she is considered to be the lagoon in Lagos, Nigeria. She began, like most of them, in Ile Ife in Nigeria. And unlike many of the other deities that crossed the water during the horror of the transatlantic slave trade, there's no evidence that I have found that she was one of the deities that crossed the water. Hence, she's not very known to many people. If I said Oshun, people would immediately know. If I said Yemanja, people would immediately know. But when I say Osara, people are like, who is that? Who is she? And she's actually a very significant deity in the pantheon. She is the mother figure, the mother deity of the Yoruba people. So,
Can you connect with the other side?
all the time, every single day, every
Wow.
single ounce of the day, I am connecting with the other side. I realize that I live in this plane like the rest of us. But what guides me is that connection to the other side. So let's say that for the most part, maybe the average person is maybe guided by their Bank of America bank account. Very tangible, very real thing. We all need a bank account. But what guides me is not my American Bank of America bank account. I don't even have a Bank of America bank account, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I gotcha.
So what guides me and what helps that increase in that bank account is my connection to the other side. It's not the loan
Ah.
officer, it's the spirits.
So for example, I'm going to take the pieces that you gave me and I'm going to kind of move them around here, maybe put the
Okay.
puzzle together. But would it be reasonable to think that, your bank account is important to you?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say somebody comes before you
Mm-hmm.
and looking for guidance, insight. Yeah, their bank
Mm-hmm.
account is important to them. It's the information you get from the other side from those who maybe have passed on in their life
Hmm.
can give you insight to the bank account, maybe growing it,
Yes.
maybe changes to make,
Yes.
whatever it is.
Yes, yes, it may even tell you where hidden money is. So yes, if someone came to me and just talking with them and listening to Osara and the communication, there could be something that they are missing in something that their ancestors did that made money. And maybe they should follow in that pursuit as opposed to something they're currently doing, which in which they may not be so successful. So we need to honor that which has gone before us. And in honoring that, there could, like I say, there could be something their ancestors did that would actually bring them wealth if they were to implement that. First, with, modern day changes or whatever. Or there could be something that they're just overlooking. It could be something just very, very small, but it's more spiritual and it connects to the tangible things that we do in this world. And so
So
you're always just trying to tie those two things together so that you can have the greatest success.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm fully transparent. You have my full permission. If somebody comes through for you and you want to throw it my way, you have permission. That's it.
I will let you know. I will focus on that and see what
Yeah,
happens.
you never know. And I know it's kind of awkward. We're on a podcast. We just met. But you never know. So that's why I throw it your
Yeah,
way.
just toss it out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
When somebody passes, do you believe that their energy is still here? It never leaves us.
It never leaves you because when you think about this, let's just think about this biologically. You are the essence of your parents. Their DNA is what is present in you. So simply because they have died, if you're still living, then they're still with you. You are they are you. And
Hmm.
so, this sense of connecting, we're thinking of this big giant gap or this big giant gorge that we have to cross to make that connection. We don't have to do that. We simply have to just tap into ourselves because that's who we are and that's who they are.
So in my world, I've always been connected with psychics from
Hmm.
going 30 years back. So I studied the energy. I would watch them in action. And it was only until my mom passed
Hmm.
6 years ago that I realized by the signs and symbols that she sends me after I ask, and they're very
Hmm.
specific. And somebody sees a penny, a heads up, or a butterfly, and that makes them feel good, supports them.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
wonderful. I go for more. I need more details. I need specifics, and I get them. And that was the energy. They're still around. Many of us, it depends on your religion, how you roll, all of that,
Hmm.
have this
Hmm.
vision that they go away, they go to heaven or wherever. Maybe they do. I don't know. But
I
I
don't know, but
believe,
they don't necessarily come back and tell you where they are.
right,
When you
right,
think about it, I don't know that any of my ancestors, they talk to me all the time, but they never say, hey, I'm over here to the left, or I've
right.
made it over to Jupiter. They don't actually inform me where they are, but they inform me of what I need to know.
And maybe we don't need to
And
know
I
where they
and
are.
yeah, exactly. I don't think location is as specific as we think. Maybe location only matters in real estate.
Okay. Location, location, location. Um, you
Exactly.
you mentioned if I heard you correctly that you are connected with the I think it's West Indian culture. Am I right about that or
What?
no?
No, West African. It's
My
from
bad. I'm
Nigeria.
sorry. I meant to
It's
say yes,
okay.
West African.
West, West.
Got the West part right. Location, location. Tell us why that's impactful in your life.
It's impactful because it is ultimately where I came from before this incarnation in America, before
Hmm.
my ancestral incarnation in America. So this is the place that I'm from. I think wherever someone is from is significant in their future journey, and that it's important to have a sense of that and to know that. And so for me, I identify that as Nigeria. I identify the traditional processes or the traditional healing modalities that they do. I find those to resonate with me far more than anything else I've ever engaged in life. And so it is something that makes me feel whole. And that's
Mm.
important. No one should walk around in parts and drips and drabs and pieces. We should walk around as whole human beings who have this spiritual connection. And so that's what that does for me.
You said incarnation, and maybe I heard reincarnation. Am I
In
getting
I
that?
will in yeah, I said incarnation meaning this go round. But apparently not apparently, but yes, in to be incarnated would mean that you have been reincarnated. So we all come from something. We just don't, it's not just like, I don't know, a seed that just appears out of nowhere and we
Right.
grow into something. We come from something. We come from our parents. Our parents come from their parents. And so we are connected lineage after lineage after lineage to something very powerful and wonderful as people.
Do you believe that you existed during another time in another life?
I do. I do. I have this thing where I love British TV. And I
Hmm.
wonder if there was some British experience that I had in another lifetime. I also don't like for people to touch my neck. And I feel like I could have been beheaded in another
Or
lifetime.
maybe
Um,
strangled. I'm just saying.
Strangle something, yeah, it just those things don't feel right. But in the actual scheme of things, unlike the Buddhists who believe that you're reincarnated and you can be a bug in one point and a human in another, that's not necessarily the belief system that I practice. Our reincarnation comes from your lineage. So to what extent other forebears of mine had neck issues or were beheaded or maybe somehow knew something about the British or went to Britain. I don't know. Britain certainly was a colonizer of Nigeria at one point. So I don't know where those feelings come from exactly. I find them rather amusing than anything else. But yes, I certainly believe that I was here before, that actually in one of my more direct experiences, I feel as if I had two young friends in another lifetime or another realm, and that I've met them again in this incarnation of my life. And so
Isn't
that
it?
was really beautiful.
Isn't it an interesting feeling when you just kind of know, like what you're saying resonates with me. Even recently, I did Ancestry.com, did the DNA test,
Hmm.
right? I waited for years. Somebody bought it as a gift. It was on the shelf. I'm like, let me do this. What I found out um, was, first of all, I have a half sister. So I met her last
Oh,
summer.
wow.
Crazy. Um,
Nice.
and also that I'm part Lithuanian. I didn't even know. So I bring that up because I've always had, like you said, British, there's some kind, something there. You just know there's something there. I have this
Yeah.
affinity for the 1800s, like right around the 1850s, 60s, around there. They just started photography. You could really see, not a
Mm.
drawing, but
Hmm.
real life. And I would look at the clothes and I'm like, how are they doing that? Like that, like they didn't have like machines like we have today. And just amazing how, and I could look at black and white pictures from that
Yeah.
period for hours. It just intrigues me.
They're beautiful. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
So fast forward to last summer, I met I don't know, a genealogist, and she's let me trace your roots there a little bit. The Lithuanian thing is on my father's side. Wasn't close with his family. He passed when I was very young. Um, that person told me that my father's father's father came from Lithuania, was a
Mhm.
tailor, made
Mm.
clothes, was very successful, worked his butt off, was able to leave Lithuania and come to New York City and bought a place for them and did really well. She even knew what street he lived on in the city from little, no,
Wow.
zero information. So I feel that I'm probably from that time. There's some kind of
Yeah,
connection
yeah.
there. Or it's
There
in my
is,
lineage.
and it's in your lineage and it surfaces. Different things surface at different times. And the other thing is you have to be ready. You have to be
Mm,
willing to hear it or see it. If you're just walking through life with a certain unknowingness, you're not going to listen to what's being said to you. You're not even going to
mm.
hear it. And or if you do hear or see it, you will dismiss it. And that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be open to it. I guess I was at that time. I guess I was open to it.
Yeah, yeah.
When you work with somebody and you get messages from the other side, how do they appear? Are you hearing it? Are you seeing it? Are you
Mm.
getting symbolism? Like what's going on?
I hear and see. So when I'm working with a client and I am talking to them, most times, particularly if their ancestral connection is really strong or if the message is really, really strong, I will see the person. I will see who it is I'm talking to. I will see their environment, their scenario. And or sometimes it can just be symbols. I once did a reading for a gentleman, and all I could come up with were tools. And I kept asking him over and over, what do tools mean to you? Tools, tools. And he kept saying, absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing. So I would go on with the reading, and then tools would come up again. And I would say, I'm sorry, but tools have reappeared. What are tools? We finally figured it out. This man, when he was a young boy, he had a young friend. They were teenagers. They robbed a hardware store, and the friend stole a box, a toolkit. And the friend recently informed him that he still had the toolkit. And at the time of the reading, the friend was in the process of transitioning. He was ill and he would be passing on soon. And he had told the guys a few months ago that he would be giving the toolkit to him that they had
Wow.
taken as little boys. And so it dawned on, when it kind of clicked in, it was um quite miraculous. But at the beginning, that's all I had to go on was just tools. And I think in that same reading, the guy was having sort of social anxiety, and I kept saying to him, I giving him suggestions for different social things he could do. And I kept saying to him, I don't mean go to bingo. I kept saying, don't go to bingo. Don't go do bingo as a social outlet. And so he began to laugh. And I said, what's so funny? He goes, for 30 years I owned a bingo parlor.
Oh my gosh.
So it happens. So it can happen in these small, small, small little ways. And in conversation, you come to realize what these little items mean. And in other times, you can get a far more clearer picture. And I think it really does have to do with the receptivity of the client, their connection to certain spiritual things, and what it is they're seeking.
Wow.
Sometimes what you're seeking is not very clear to you, and using a medium to try and get clarity is a great idea. But it might take a minute. It might not just all come in a flood of information. It may take a minute or two to get there. And so I try to be very patient with my clients. I don't rush your session. If you pay for 30 minutes and it's taking 40 minutes, okay, no problem. Let's go with it because we're trying to get to that information that's going to be helpful for you.
Mm. You ever freak yourself out?
No.
Yeah.
Not really, no. I can't really think of an incidence where that has happened. I'm sure that it has happened, but for
Mm.
the most part, I don't know if freak out would be the term I would use, but there are times when I am astonished. Let's say that. There are times when I am absolutely
Okay.
astonished, maybe during a reading or maybe just during a walk when I figure out something. and I realize, oh, I should have paid attention to that. Now I see it, and so forth. So I think that there are definitely times when I do get astonished, and I'm just like, wow, that's awesome.
I just words came into my head and they were like, cool. Like you just say to
Yeah,
yourself, like, that was cool. All right.
exactly, exactly.
What's your money mojo? Tell us about that.
Joe. So it is a device, a small, actually made, it's a soft device. It has different elements in it that are proprietary, I'll say, but these elements are associated with attracting money. And if I it's possible to make it more specialized or more personalized for the person, but there are certain natural elements that are money attractors in our world. And so using those properties and putting a great deal of prayer and intention in them, one can have one of these mojos made for them, and you carry it around in your pocket or in your purse, or maybe could be even worn as a
Right.
necklace, and this will help you to attract the fortune that you're seeking.
So these are very customized, I would imagine.
I everything I do is very customized. I do not have ready-made things for anybody. It's just not. I don't think that that's how the world should work. I know that we live in a ready-made world, but I think that we are each individuals with sets of particularities. And it's my job to take the time to know the particularities of my client and design things that are specific to them and their needs. So I don't do ready-mades.
You know, it's very reasonable to think that you can carry something to increase your prosperity. I mean, I've got crystals here. I've got,
Hmm.
for other purposes, I carry them
Yeah.
around and, for protection or whatever it might be. This is just an offshoot, I would imagine, of that to, basically bring you prosperity.
Yeah. I think that what we don't recognize in our ready-made world, everything has energy.
Oh, yeah.
Everything has energy. And if you understand how to communicate with that energy, then you understand how to direct those energies for your betterment.
One
And so
billion percent.
that's what I do.
That's
That's what I do for people.
what you just said is the secret of life.
It
It is.
is.
We're
It
energy.
totally is.
Everything is energy. This pen in my hand.
Exactly.
It's not the same energy as you or I, but it is a type of energy. And I give this example, and it's a very recent one about how this works, even in inanimate objects. I have an old Jeep, 25 years old, beat up. I say it's in hospice. I love it though. I use it. I take it kayaking. It's my fun vehicle, right? So what happened was it would always break down. And then I would say, you piece of junk, you broke again, blah, blah, blah. And it would break down again and
Really?
again. Fixed it. And then I said, you know what? I love you. You're mine. We do things
Exactly.
together. Uh, it hasn't broken down in the longest time.
It's because you're being kind and gentle to it, and it
I'm being
needed
kind and
that.
gentle to it.
Instead of being mean and evil, calling it a piece of junk.
100%. Uh,
Yeah, and it,
it's
re
true.
it things, and that's the thing. Things in life respond to the energy that you place upon it.
Yeah.
So in your car, your Jeep is a great example. You
Yeah,
were being mean to it,
I was.
and why should it perform for you if you're going to be mean to it?
It's so true. And now I literally say, oh, we had a good day. Oh, I love you. That was a good day. We had fun together. It's
Exactly.
been fine. No problem.
Good.
I'm
I pray it
convinced.
continues to go well. But yeah, be nice to your
And I
Jeep.
appreciate that. And I pay more in insurance than it's worth, but it's just, it's my fun
But
thing.
you love it. It's yours.
It's mine. Right.
Yeah,
How do we
exactly.
connect with you? Yeah. Yeah. How do we find you?
Will you find me at YeyeNewMexico.com? That is YeyeNewMexico.com. Just reach out, go to that website. You can send me a message via the website. You can book the services via the website. You can get a sense of the things I do. You can read the blogs that I post about different elements of psychic work. and just reach out. And I have a free prayer service that I offer people. You can go to the website and put in a prayer request for yourself, for a loved one, it doesn't matter, and I will include that prayer in my daily prayers as I
Awesome.
go along. So yeah, so you have to be able to give something to the world. And so that's mine. I will offer prayers, and I think that those are exceedingly, exceedingly powerful things to offer people.
I love it. Appreciate you being here. Learned a lot. Your energy, talk about energy. You have great energy. Like it's
Thank you.
passion and all of it. And you've got gifts and abilities and just want to help people. That's what I get. That's what I detect from you.
Well, thank you. And that is a good detection. That is
Well,
correct.
thank you for being here. Looking forward if we get a chance to get together in the future.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very
Likewise.
much.
Thank you. We'll be
All
right
right.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.